There is a quiet truth about aging that few people talk about openly. The final year of life for an elderly person rarely begins with a clear moment or a dramatic change. Most of the time, it arrives gently, almost unnoticed, through small shifts that are easy to explain away as normal old age. Families often miss these signs not because they do not care, but because they are subtle and emotionally difficult to accept. Understanding these warnings is not about fear or prediction. It is about awareness, compassion, and learning how to be present during one of the most meaningful stages of life. One of the earliest and most overlooked signs is a deep emotional and social withdrawal. This goes beyond simply being tired or wanting quiet time. An elderly person who once enjoyed conversation, visits, or familiar routines may slowly lose interest in the outside world. They may speak less, avoid gatherings, or seem distant even when loved ones are near. This withdrawal is often misunderstood as depression or stubbornness, but end-of-life research suggests it can be part of a natural internal shift. As physical energy declines, attention turns inward. Memories become more vivid. Thoughts move toward reflection rather than planning. This inward focus is not a rejection of loved ones. It is often the mind preparing for closure and peace. Another subtle but powerful sign is a noticeable and lasting drop in physical energy. While aging naturally brings fatigue, the final year of life is often marked by a deeper exhaustion that does not improve with rest. Simple tasks such as standing, walking short distances, or even speaking for long periods can become draining. An elderly person may sleep much more than before or spend long hours resting quietly. This is not weakness or giving up. It is the body conserving energy as vital systems slow down. Medical studies show that during the last year of life, the body redirects energy toward essential functions, reducing stamina and strength. This change often happens gradually, making it easy to overlook until it becomes pronounced. Changes in appetite and eating habits are another important warning sign that families often struggle to accept. An elderly person may begin to eat very little, show little interest in food they once loved, or forget meals entirely. This can be alarming, especially for loved ones who equate eating with survival. However, science shows that as the body approaches the end of life, its need for food naturally decreases. Digestion becomes slower and less efficient, and hunger signals weaken. Forcing food during this time can cause discomfort and distress rather than strength. What matters most is comfort, hydration when appropriate, and emotional presence. Eating less is often not a sign of suffering, but a sign that the body is gradually preparing to rest. Another sign that often appears is a shift in sleep patterns and awareness. An elderly person in their final year may sleep much more during the day and remain awake for short periods at night. When awake, they may seem less focused on their surroundings and more engaged with memories or inner thoughts. Some may speak about past events with surprising clarity or mention people who passed away long ago. Others may appear calm, distant, or reflective. These changes are not confusion in the traditional sense. They are often part of the brain's natural process of transitioning away from constant external engagement. For loved ones, this can feel like the person is slowly slipping away, but it can also be a time of deep emotional connection if approached with patience and understanding. The fifth and perhaps most emotionally significant sign is a change in how an elderly person talks about life and relationships. Many people in their final year begin to focus on closure. They may want to talk about their past, express gratitude, apologize for old wounds, or reconnect with certain people. Some speak openly about death, not with fear but with calm acceptance. Others may give away belongings, share advice, or speak in ways that feel final. Psychological studies show that near the end of life, the mind seeks meaning and resolution. These conversations are not a sign of giving up. They are a sign of emotional completion. Listening during these moments can be one of the greatest gifts a loved one can offer. It is important to understand that these signs do not follow a strict order, and not every elderly person will show all of them. Some may experience them slowly over a year or more, while others may show changes more quickly. These signs are not a countdown. They are patterns observed by doctors, caregivers, and researchers who work closely with aging and end-of-life care. Their purpose is not to predict an exact time, but to help families shift their focus from fixing to supporting, from worrying to being present. When loved ones recognize these subtle warnings, something meaningful often happens. Priorities change. Time together becomes more intentional. Small moments like sitting quietly, holding a hand, or listening to a story take on greater value. Arguments feel less important. Love becomes simpler and more honest. Awareness allows families to replace fear with compassion and urgency with presence. The final year of life is not only about decline. It can also be a time of deep connection, reflection, and peace when approached with understanding. The body may be slowing down, but the emotional world often becomes richer. What an elderly person needs most during this time is not correction, pressure, or constant medical focus. They need patience, respect, comfort, and the reassurance that they are not alone. Aging and death are difficult topics, but they are part of every human life. Recognizing these signs is not about losing hope. It is about honoring the journey. When we learn to notice the quiet changes and respond with kindness, the final chapter of life can be filled with dignity, love, and meaning. For families and loved ones, being present during this time is not a burden. It is a profound privilege that leaves a lasting imprint on the heart.